Hello everyone and welcome back to the podcast. I do have quite a few things to share with you guys today. I do have a little bit of news. I have my knit crate to share with you, which I almost just threw on the floor. And yeah, so I'm just going to be sharing finished projects because I have so many to share with you today, and I only have a couple whips, so I'm just going to be sharing the finished projects this time, and then the next time I'll share the whips. I do want to talk about filming schedule. As you've already noticed, it's been a little while since I filmed last, and I apologize for that, but things have been really crazy, and I live in Washington State, and my state has been hit really hard with the illness, and my area in particular has been hit really hard. My family is perfectly fine. We are trying to, isolate ourselves from being out in public as much as possible, but along with all of this, my entire state has shut down the entire school system of the entire states, or of the entire state. So there are no schools in session at all. So that means that my daughter is home, and as you guys know from my filming schedule is during the summer, I try to stay on track, but with her home, it's harder for me to film, and especially considering her school system didn't really send any type of homework home with her. She doesn't have any work packets or anything like that, so I'm having to try and find ways of keeping her up to date on her schoolwork, which is hard because I don't know exactly where she was at in school. I mean, I know the general area in math and reading and all of that, but I can't just pick up where she left off. So I'm trying to find just general areas where she can do things, especially in math. Readings, and writing, she's, those are the easy things. It's finding the exact area in math where she's at, and being able to find, worksheets and websites and stuff like that that she can use. Her school has sent home, well, one of her teachers sent home a good variety of different websites to use, but it just stinks. So my filming schedule is going to be kind of just when I can film. It'll probably be on the weekends until she goes back to school, because she's using the computer during the week, and it's harder for me to film when she's supposed to be doing things, and then being able to edit the videos and all of that, and it's just a big pain in the rear. So I will film when I can film. I'm going to try and keep on my 2-week schedule. It probably will be on a weekend when it's posted, but I make no promises that I will even remotely stay on schedule. But once this is all over and she goes back to school, then life will go back to normal, and I'll be able to go back to my regular schedule of every 2 weeks. Normally I film either on a Thursday or a Friday, and I post it on a Friday. So I'm going to try and switch that to either a Saturday or a Sunday and be able to post it then. I have got quite a bit done in the spans of time since I filmed last, so it's not that I'm not doing things, I can't find time to film or a quiet area to film. So that's all I'm going to say about that. So I'm going to move right on into the podcast. I do have my knit crate, like I said, it came last week, so I wanted to go ahead and share that with you. As always, find all of my knit crate information, the coupon codes, the links, and all of that in the description of this video, whether you're watching that in the Facebook group or on Patreon. So you'll be able to find all of that. If you have not purchased from Knit Crate before and would like to try it, now is a good time, I mean, because we're all stuck at home. So you could try it and use my coupon code and get 20% off your first purchase, and you know, that's always nice. So I'm going to jump right in to showing my knit crate. So I am very pleased with the yarn this month. I finally got a different color than what I would normally be getting. So these are the yarns that were for this month for the regular knit crate box. So I would normally, and I've been getting knit crate for a while now, so, and I kind of get the same color ranges. So this month is, you know, it's really nice because it's kind of out of the color range that I've been getting, so I'm very pleased with that. So these are the patterns that you get for this month. You have a knit pattern and a knit sock, and then a crochet pattern and a crochet sock. The socks are for the sock box, but you get the pattern in the book no matter what box you get, so that's nice. It looks like the knit pattern is a hat and a cowl, and the crochet pattern is a capelet. So the patterns are in the book. So this is what the yarn looks like. Very gorgeous. It's kind of a rusty orange. It's almost a tad on the red side, but you know, it's kind of that burnt orange color. Very nice. It's by Librevis. I think that's how you pronounce that. It's 100% baby alpaca. Fingering weight 400 yards and 100 grams per skein. And this colorway is called Dogwood Berry. So very soft. It is a fingering weight, which is not my favorite, but you know, I'll find some use for it. So very nice, very pleased with that. And it is very soft. So I'm not a real big fan of wool, but the baby alpaca seems to be really soft. So very nice. So that is the yarn for the knit crate for this month. As I said, you can find all the info for that in the description box. So I wanted to go ahead and make a note real quick. It has been that you've only been able to watch my videos in the Facebook group. So if that's where you're watching this, I just wanted to let you guys know, and vice versa. So if you're not watching it in the Facebook group, then I do have a Facebook group for the channel where I post all of my videos. I post pictures of all my projects when I finish it in the Facebook group, so you can just, you know, shoot over there and join, and I would love to have you there and love to see your projects. And that is just Tea Time Crochet and Crafts, and that's just in the group section. If you're watching this on Patreon, or if you're watching this on Facebook, you can also watch all my videos on Patreon for free. That way I have, you know, 2 separate sites where you can see my videos, since I'm not posting on YouTube anymore because of the whole ad thing, you know, and the COPPA rules and all of that. So I have switched to these 2 separate places to be able to post my videos, so you can check out my Patreon if you want, and all of my videos are there too. I do have tiers on Patreon where you can you know, sign up, and I have my patterns, my written patterns on there. You get 1 pattern a month, and if you sign up to be a patron, no big deal if you don't. If you are interested in any of my patterns, I do have a business page on Facebook, or you can, you know, Facebook message me directly. I'm trying to figure out how I can do other ways of doing that. When this whole thing's over with, I probably have all that figured out. The whole upheaval with the sickness and everything, to where maybe I will be posting my patterns on eBay as well, and then you would get a email version PDF of any of my patterns. I really want to stay away from putting them on Ravelry, but if that's the only option I have, then I can do that too. I also want to stay away from Etsy. Etsy is going through its own thing right now, with some changes and everything, so I just kind of want to steer clear of that. But definitely, if you're interested in any of the PDF versions of my patterns, you can join as a patron on Patreon, or you can contact me through Facebook, either through my business page or just Facebook Messenger, and just tell me which pattern it is that you're interested in. So that's just a little bit of news about that. I'm going to jump right into finished projects. Like I said, I'm only going to share the finished projects this time because I do have quite a few, and I have one whip that I'm working on, so I'm not going to even worry about that right now. So the first one that I have, they are finished. I just have not got them put together yet. So here's my spring wreath, and what this is I made a template of a wreath form out of some foam board, and that's what I've been making my wreath forms out of. Instead of buying the wire ones or the foam ones, I just make them out of the foam board, and that works out perfectly fine for me. It's a lot cheaper, and and it's simple. All I gotta do is just trace around it and cut it out. So here is the wreath itself finished. I really like how it turned out. It's very cute. So how I do my wreath forms is I do just a very long rectangle, and then I seam it together, so it kind of, it's kind of the beginning and the end I seam together, and then I fold it in half around the wreath form itself, and then seam around it. So that's how I do mine. And then not always, but sometimes I'll do decorative stitches on the edge, like I have here. I just did a V-stitch cluster. I did 2 rows of that. So it turned out really cute. I really like how it turned out. I wasn't quite sure, and I kind of just had a thought in my head. I've done many wreaths like this, but I wasn't sure how well the edging was going to stand up, but it stands up perfectly fine. So there's the wreath form, and what I'm going to be adding on to it is roses. So I have a bunch of scrap yarn that I've just picked out in different colors of and I've made roses out of them. So far I've got 4 colors done. I'm going to see how that looks from here, and then see if I need to add a couple more colors. But this is my rose pattern. I do have a tutorial for it. I believe it's like crochet roses in 4 different sizes. So it's one pattern that you get 4 different sized roses in. So this is, I believe, I want to say this is the small, because here, I'll show you these. So this is the small, and this is the medium, and then I have an extra small, which you'll see, and then an extra large. I did not make any extra larges with these roses, so you can kind of see the size difference there. But so the colors that I have chosen are just scrap yarn off my shelf. So I have a light pink that is, I love this yarn, metallic. And then this is also just a purple in the same yarn. So I wanted to add a little bit of sparkle to it. And I had those on my shelf left over from my sweater. And then I have a blue, and this is Crafter's Secret Splash. I've been working with this a lot. You'll see in one of my other projects this blue, and then I have another project that's going to be coming up that's going to have this in it too, so I kind of memorized the name. And then this is just Mainstays Yellow. So I have blue, pink, and yellow, and I have them all in 3 different sizes except for the purple because I ran out. But I do have a darker purple that's not the metallic that I'm going to be making that extra rose with, which I believe is this extra small size that I need to make. So this is what the extra small size looks like. So I have a whole bag full of those to be putting on, and I also need to take pictures of these to put on the written pattern now that I'm trying to work that up. But these are done. I just need to attach them to the wreath. I believe I showed this last time, but I'm going to show it again just in case I'm wrong. But this is a new design that I came up with. It's going to be called the Colored Granny Cowl. So it's based off of one of my old tutorials. So the Granny Cowl itself is a tutorial, one of my first tutorials actually. So, but I wanted to make one of the colored Granny Cowl, or one of the colored cowls that have been so popular this last season. So this is what I came up with. This is a knit crate. I want to say it's Vindalana. So it's Vindalana, and it's called Ancient Runes, and it's 100% fine Peruvian Highland wool. And I have this on a pen, so I remember that this is wool and I can't wash it. I did wear this actually. We had a cold front come through. I think it was last week, and it snowed here. So it might have been the week before that. I don't remember. It feels like this past 2 weeks has felt like it's been like several months. So it's just been crazy. So I did wear this, and it was a little itchy, but I'm not sure whether that's just, you know, from the wool or just because it's new and I have not washed it, since it's not washable. But, you know, it was very comfortable to wear. So I finished that one. I hope that I haven't showed you this yet. I can't remember. But I made another one for my oldest daughter for Christmas out of, it's Knitology, and it's Knitology's Glowing Worsted. And this one is 40% superwash merino, 30% silk, and 30% alpaca. And this one's in the colorway C. So this one's super soft. It is a worsted weight. This one's a worsted weight, and I believe that was a fingering. That one was a sport weight. So I did less rows on this one because, you know, my yarn was bigger than the last one. So, but it's the same one, and this yarn is so soft. It reminds me, even though it's wool, it reminds me of Caron Simply Soft. You know how it has that really slick, soft luster feel to it? That's what this feels like. It's the only one I can think of off the top of my head that feels like that. But I thought it would be really nice for a Christmas gift for my daughter. They just moved to Colorado a few months back, and it's quite cold there for quite a long time, so I thought that this would be, you know, a good jump on Christmas for her. So the next one I do remember talking about this last time. I did finish my little pink creature from my Edward's Imaginarium book. She turned out super cute. I really like how it's turned out. It's been sitting on my computer desk for several days. I don't like the wobble in its head, but I think with the next one, I'm going to be making one for my daughter, and I'm going to try and rework this little neck portion so it won't be so wobbly, and I'll be able to stuff it and it'll stay. But I love its little pot belly. It's so cute. But with that book, you can take a bunch of different heads and a bunch of different arms and legs and make a whole bunch of different creatures out of them. So this is how mine turned out. It does sit. And I used the same pink that I used for my wreath, which is a Crafter's Secret. I think it's Hot Rose, I think is what it's called. And then I used a Yarn Bee Glowing. And this one's in the colorway Multi-Pink. So this is what I have left of it from doing this project. So I used about half a skein. So I'll have enough to still use that yarn for a hat or something else. So that turned out really cute. My daughter's already picked out hers, and I'll be working on that probably when I'm done with the wreath. But it turned out so cute. So now I can put it away. It's going to sit on my shelf, but I wanted to share it before I did that. So with it being so gloomy this past winter, we're finally starting to get some sun, and I really have spring fever. I'm done with the cold weather. I want the sun. I want the bright, the bright cheeriness of the warmer weather. So a lot of my projects have been bright and cheery. So this is loosely based on Bag O'Day's Crochet's, I meant to write down the number. It's her mosaic stitch bag. It's one of her recent tutorials. I think she did last month, but this is loosely based on that tutorial. The basics of starting the bag is, just like hers, but I did mine taller because I want this to be a project bag. So it turned out really cute. And this is one of my roses. And I just did it in the pink and then the green to match. I did line it. I had to use what was on stash because, in stash, because I can't really go out shopping right now. So I had this, it's kind of blue tealish color, that like crushed velvet, stretchy material that you can buy. And it kind of went with this blue, and it was the only thing I had in stash that would go. I was hoping to find some pink or maybe even a green, but I didn't have any. So I went with that, and it really turned out really nicely. So this will be a really nice bag to use for a project bag, especially on the go if you have to out and about in the summer, hopefully. But I did finish that, and I really love how the rose turned out. Even though that's kind of odd coloring for a rose, pink and green, it really makes it pop. So I finished that one. And I feel like I've said that a million times already. I finished that. And along with that theme of spring and spring colors, I made the animals, we have a dog and a cat, some spring bandanas to wear. And these are just made just like my granny cowl, other than I didn't join it. So it just has the tie. So this is the one for my dog. It is using that, and it is covered with hair because I already had it on him. So it's using a lot of the same colors that I just had. That I love this yarn, metallic, Crafter's Secret Splash, Crafter's Secret, what is that green? It's like lime green, I think it is, and then Mainstay is yellow. So there's the dog one, and then here's the cat one. And I do have pictures of them with them on it, wearing it. So I will pop those in here. So that is all of the yarny projects that I finished. I have some sewing, and then I have some just like DIY crafting that I'm going to share with you. The first one is a cover for, my husband just ordered us a new dog hair, a new deep fryer, and he asked me to make a cover for it so it wouldn't get dust and pet hair and stuff in it. So I'm going to go ahead and pop the pictures of that in here because I forgot to bring it out. So I'm just going to share the pictures with you. It is really simple. I just quilted a square of fabric that fit the measurements I needed, and then I added Velcro on the corners, and it fits it perfectly. So I'm going to go ahead and add those pictures in here. Okay, so the next one is just this cute little drawstring bag from my daughter. It has little kittens on it, and then I used some teal because there are teal kittens in the pattern of the fabric to just make the drawstring. And then I only had white ribbon on hand, so that's what I used. But she got her first tarot deck, and she needed a bag to put them in, and her tarot deck is cat themed. So I thought this would be perfect. It matches perfectly, and so yeah, I needed to make her that. So that is the last of my sewing. Hopefully next time I'll have some more. I do have a bunch of things coming up that's going to be sewing, so next podcast maybe more sewing than yarny related stuff. So I'm going to move on to the DIY crafting stuff. So I've had these headbands on, in my collection or whatever you want to call it for a while, and they are stretch headbands that go around the entire part of your head. So they're just stretch headbands that you just slide on, and those headbands don't work very well for me. They always slide off because I don't have that shelf at the back of your head like most people have, that little bump. I don't have that. So the back of my head is fairly flat, so those stretchy type of headbands you just slip on, they never stay. They just slide right off. And I had these headbands because I really liked them, and I had the intention of cutting them and then attaching them to normal headbands. So what I have in right now is one of those headbands. I buy all my headbands at the Dollar Tree when I can find them, and yeah, so I have to find different ways of making things work. Like you know, us crafters do. So this is one of them. So what I've done is I just took a regular plain headband. I like these headbands that have like the fabric covering them. You can get them in like a pack of 8 or 10, I think it is, at Dollar Tree. And then I just cut the stretch headbands and glued them to it. So, oops. And I just, you know, glued them right on. And some of them worked out perfectly, like the one I'm wearing, and this one worked out perfectly. And then, like, this one didn't work out so perfectly. For some reason, it was a little smaller than the others because, you know, it's not exact coming from the Dollar Tree. So I had to stretch it a little bit, and you can kind of tell. But I don't think it's going to matter once it's in your hair. So I had these sequin headbands that I wanted to make, and then I also had these like braided headbands, and I bought every one of these, every color that the Dollar Tree had when they had it, knowing that this is what I was going to do with it, but I just now got around to it, and that's been probably almost a year now. So I have a bunch of new headbands to be wearing, and I tried to match the underneath headband when I could, but you know, these only come in so many colors. And then I noticed this morning that I have a pink one, a pink sequin one that I forgot, so I'll need to do that too. But they work out really nice. I like this specific headband itself because it doesn't pinch behind the ears. You know, some headbands you'll get and it really will pinch behind the ears, but these don't. So I kind of stick with those. So I kind of got to go with the colors that they have. So like the purple one doesn't match. It doesn't come in a purple as far as I've seen. So I figure you're looking at the top, not the bottom. So that is the last project that I have. And that was quite a bit. But it has been a while since I've been able to post. I do have new yarn. It's all Crafter's Secret, and most of it's already gone into projects, so I'm not going to even bother sharing that. Like this pink, it was one of them. It was a new one that my husband got before all of the chaos started. And then I have like this coral, which I don't think I've had before, but he got me this one and this one, which is fabulous, and then this one is just coral. So, and then I got the lime green and the hot rose and the splash and something else, I think. But so like I said, I'm not going to really get into that because I've had them for a while and they've already been working in projects. So yeah, so next time I will share my whips. I won't have as many, hopefully I won't have as many finished projects. It's just because it's been so long. I do have yarn set out for a sweater that I'm going to be starting on my knitting machine. I have some sewing picked out, like this. I have some bibs that I want to, you know, send to my grandson. That my daughter bought I believe she bought it at a thrift store or something, but it's like an apron bib, and she really likes it, but it's getting a little small on him, so I kind of tried to create that type of thing myself. So this is what I've chose. Don't mind for that, for, you know, the double-sided, just to see if it works. I pulled this out of stash, that's why it's all wrinkly, but so maybe I'll have that to show next time. I have some dress or some skirt patterns pulled out that I've had out I need to get working on. So I'm going to go ahead and go, and I will see you next time, and I hope everyone stays safe and healthy, and hopefully it won't be too long before I podcast again. So I'll talk to you next time. Bye.